activated yet.
Maybe Michael or Heather, can you come up there? The microphones are activated.
Test. Thank you. Thank you, Russ.
The switch.
Very good. There we go. Go ahead.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all the work and for being here and making such a good presentation, which is rather overwhelming. A couple of questions. Senator Kaiser, I thought I heard suggest that when the third runway was constructed, we erroneously thought it was going to be for emergencies. Whatever happened to that concept and how was it changed? Or perhaps that was not understood. And then I would really, secondly, like Ms. Pellegrini to go over again how the runways are going to be used, but do real slowly, so people like us can comprehend. We're well educated and smart, but you need to go much slower. So it's two questions.
In the environmental impact statement for the third runway, it did indicate that the primary purpose for building the third runway was for low visibility and lower weather events. So I think it was misconstrued in a lot of ways that that was the only purpose for that runway. When there is no restriction in the EIS or any of the other document that I've seen that was put out to the public for that. I can go back to this really quick for Linda.
I know that you're educated and smart because I have a personal relationship with you. So, okay, a little bit slower, and I'll go over this as many times as you need me to. Under normal circumstances, and a lot of things take away from normal, things such as weather, runway closures, high demand, flight check operations. There's a lot of reasons why we might not be able to be in our normal configuration. So normal, under low demand, arrivals are coming into the center runway. Departures are taking off, runway 16 left. Okay, and we're showing it on the board above
Let's
you.
go back up here. Okay.
I'm not sure what we're looking here for because some people call them east and west, some people call them new and old, some people, controllers, call them inner and outer, inner meaning that you're closest to the terminal. So there's all sorts of different phrases that we can use, but the diagram up here shows 16L, 16C, and 16R. That's 16 left, 16 center, and 16 right.
I've got a shaky hand, so this may not work well.
Okay, and as on this slide right here, we're not talking about the new runway, the third runway yet. We're only talking about the two old runways, and so the runway 16 center, which is the center runway that Stan is pointing to, is where the arrivals are going to be coming in, and runway 16 left is for departures.
And normal is referring to normal weather conditions?
Normal weather conditions.
That's a normal.
Correct. Okay.
Which is south and which is north.
Okay, so right now we're talking about south. Okay, as I stated earlier, 16 is the direction that they're flying, which is a 160-degree heading. Okay? No? Don't go that far? Okay, I'll try to help.
We always say that at the north end of the airport, if you're up here, okay, those aircraft heading, let's say from Seattle down to Federal Way, if you were going that direction, that would be southbound traffic. So
You should have the slide turned.
yes,
Yeah.
probably so up here.
Yeah.
Depends on where the slide's projecting, I think.
Okay, so once we get a higher demand, once we get more aircraft that require the use of two runways to avoid delays, then when we're forced into that configuration, we will be landing on runway 16 left,
6 left, there's the landing.
That's the landing, 16 left being the closest runway to the terminal, the one that has been closed for the past 6 months, which now just reopened successfully. And we'll be landing also on runway 16 right, which is the new runway, the third runway. Okay, in this scenario, departures are taking off runway 16 center.
How would you define high demand?
That's a good question, and we look at projected periods of a certain amount of time. I don't have that number off the top of my head. I would guess it would be something like 8 aircraft within a 15-minute period.
I mean, is that often like at dinner time, we have high demand? Is that?
And that's probably one of our busiest times of day.
And so, summer, beautiful night, high demand, we're just going to be using that third runway. It has nothing to do with visibility, right? So it's just high demand.
No, high demand and when we're in poor visibility conditions.
Oh, high demand and poor visibility.
It's not a combination of both, though. It's either
or.
So if the airfield needs the runway to lower the delays in the sky. We always say when the delay demand is going to go up, when you have a lot of aircraft in the sky, they're all coming in from Chicago at one time, and you're trying to get all of those aircraft in, you can use the airfields more efficiently with 2 runways.
So we've gone from the concept of being used for emergencies to being used for high demand, right? Which is an enormous change, just an enormous change. I mean, conceptually, I mean, we were really hoodwinked, or you are interpreting that. It was working against us. It's not part of Seattle. Here are the ones who manage it. That's coming in front, I understand. But if you're saying that we have moved from the Spartan use during low visibility and rough weather into using it frequently in high demand, you have really fooled us. You really have. And we would like that concept to change.
I think it might help. I noted that in 1998, you had 475,000 operations, and you're projecting in 2010, whatever, less 305,000 operations. Okay, I missed the numbers. There you are. So we added the new runway to have fewer operations.
Correct.
And you just talked about we're only going to do it during the high demand. Well, it doesn't look like there's any high demand. Because before 1997, you were getting, what is that? A third more, almost, well, it's more than a third more operations out there. So there shouldn't be any problem. This runway should never be used. It has to be like. I think by looking at your data, that you shouldn't have to use it. And the only time, the thing that was said, the only time that this runway would be used was under lower weather conditions where you had the problem, and I'm a pilot, so I understand it, the problem with spacing the airplanes and the runways were too close together according to the FAA rules and so on and so forth. But that is when you're using it. And with this fewer number of projections, you should be able to do the whole thing without the third runway being used at all. I don't know whether there was a question in there or not, but it sure seemed like it.
What's that? I agree there's a question in there. The answer is we still have high demands for the airport. And those high demands will require, in order to reduce the delays coming into the airport, reduce the cost to the airlines for having those delays, we can use both inner and outer runways. So let's go on to the next challenge. Over to this side.
The only high demand is you want everybody to land at the same time.
Okay, we're going to go on to this side now.